What's up, YouTube? This is Mathwas97 and welcome to Saturday night's main event, the special episode of my WWE 2K15 Universe Mode. It's number 60 of the series, and we're kicking things off with an open challenge issued from this man, Daniel Bryan. That's right, Daniel Bryan. He's out here tonight issuing an open challenge to anyone who's back in the locker room, anyone who feels like they have what it takes to take on Daniel Bryan. And yes, we are here. We're kicking it old school for the night, as it's main event here on Saturday, as opposed to being on our usual Tuesday slot. So this week's episodes of Universe Mode are kind of getting thrown around a little bit mixed up. So we had Raw, then SmackDown, then main event for a change. As you know, we got to keep it in order. It is Saturday night's main event, so it has to be on Saturday, as would be expected. Well, let's find out who is going to accept Daniel Bryan's open challenge. We're going to find out here in a moment. But Daniel Bryan, of course, getting prepared. Oh my God. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. The People's Champion returning from injury. The Rock is back here in Universe Mode. That is right, folks. The Rock, he was medically cleared to compete. He's back for in-ring competition, and he's answering Daniel Bryan's open challenge here tonight. So The Rock and Bryan, both two superstars who are perhaps vying for a WWE Championship match, although both of them on Raw, CM Punk on SmackDown, which makes it very, I don't know, it's a unique situation for the two of these men. Take a look at The Rock. I mean, he had the potential for a rematch clause, but he was sidelined with an injury, and now perhaps could be, his career here in Universe Mode could be in question, whether or not he really has what it takes to hang with the best of the best here in Universe Mode. The best, bright, young talent of today, the superstars, legends of tomorrow. But we'll see here tonight what kind of shape The Rock is in, if he's ready to return to the ring full time, or perhaps The Rock, maybe he's still dealing with a little bit of injury, might need to take more time off. We'll have to wait and see. But as for Daniel Bryan, of course, defeating Brock Lesnar back at WrestleMania. And at the moment, he's had a little bit of time. He hasn't been competing as frequently as he used to, as he's still kind of been dealing with a bit of the after effects of that matchup. Although at this point, we're now following Extreme Rules. So Daniel Bryan, he's had, that past month, the past 5 weeks to kind of recover, and now I think he's ready to get back in the ring and compete regularly for the WWE audience. And of course, even though he's on Raw, he does still want that match with CM Punk. That's been his goal since July of last year, the last year in Universe Mode, back in WWE 13. Daniel Bryan, he's wanted this match with CM Punk. He's been vying for it, clamoring for it, and of course Brock Lesnar was that obstacle that Bryan had to overcome, and he did. Bryan, he gave himself that set of limitations that he had to get past, and he's done that, but now he's, the WWE draft has just kind of thwarted his plans yet again. So at this point, the only option for him, as long as CM Punk holds that WWE Championship, would be, well, for one, CM Punk's going to have to continue to hold that WWE Championship until Money in the Bank comes around. Yes, this year we're going to be having the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match in Universe Mode. That pay-per-view will be coming up in the month of July, following the Payback pay-per-view in June. And of course, when I speak July, I'm talking about universe-wise, not real-life-wise. There's no way I can get to Money in the Bank by July. So, just to clear up any potential confusion there. But wait a minute, Daniel Bryan kicks out the leg of The Rock, and now firing away with kick after kick to the chest of The Rock, as he's got him dazed, and he connects with the kick right to the side of the skull of The Rock. Could put the People's Champ away, but no, that's a kick out from The Rock as he manages to keep himself alive in this matchup. And look at Daniel Bryan. Well, he was looking for a running elbow there, but Rock able to just kind of barely sidestep out of that one. Only caught a glancing blow. And now, oh, big knee lift right there to Daniel Bryan. And now just stomping a mud hole in Daniel Bryan right there. But Bryan sweeps at the legs yet again, looking to go back on the offensive here. And he's firing up the yes movement. Daniel Bryan could be looking to finish off the Brahma Bull right here, right now, with that running knee. Daniel Bryan hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. Oh, The Rock kicks out. The Rock somehow manages to get the shoulder up. So I guess The Rock, you know, he's back in the shape he was in prior to his injury. You know, he can still hang. He can still keep himself alive in the matchup. But he hasn't really been able to go on the offensive in this one. It's been mostly Daniel Bryan to this point. So, like I've said before, you can't just win the match by being a punching bag. You got to mount some sort of offense. And that's where The Rock is struggling right now. As we see Daniel Bryan taking him down right there with a nice arm drag. Now going up over the top rope. Look at this springboard cross body right there. Nearly going halfway across the ring there was Daniel Bryan. As now he's picking The Rock up to his feet, but The Rock counters, throws Bryan into the corner. And now a big running clothesline into the corner by The Rock as he takes down Daniel Bryan. But yes, as I was saying, Money in the Bank will be coming around. But of course, the next pay-per-view on the schedule is Over the Limit. And we've already got a few matches coming into effect for that pay-per-view. Daniel Bryan, though, you know, like I said, Punk has got to hold the title. He's got to keep a hold of that WWE Championship. And he'll be facing the Celtic Warrior Sheamus at Over the Limit after the actions of in the past couple of weeks on SmackDown. And Sheamus is looking pretty impressive. So Daniel Bryan, I mean, if Punk were to lose the WWE Championship, it's going to make it a lot more difficult to have some sort of an inter-brand matchup like that. But wait a minute, Daniel Bryan hits another running knee on The Rock. And that's it. Good night, Irene. Cover again by Bryan. And that's it. What? No way. Are you kidding me? The Rock is still in this matchup. After 2 of those running knees, somehow The Rock manages to kick out of both of them. I don't believe this. As now he takes Bryan down with an arm breaker. The Rock, but still not really mounting a whole lot of offense here. And he can only hold on for so long. Wait a minute, crucifix here by Bryan. But Rock was able to get a rope break there. Bryan trying to create some distance now. Set him up for the running knee. No, instead connects with a running elbow right there to The Rock. Still took him down, though. Bryan back to the corner. As Rock trying to use the ropes to pull himself back to his feet. Oh, and now the running knee for the 3rd time. Connecting to the skull of The Rock. And that's gotta be it. And it is. Ugh. I don't know, that was starting to get ugly there, folks. I mean, The Rock, he showed his endurance here tonight. He showed that he can still take a lot of punishment. But I don't know if that necessarily means that he's ready to get back in that ring. I mean, it may have taken 3 finishers to put him away. But The Rock barely got any offense in during that matchup. And Daniel Bryan, that's a dominant victory for Bryan here tonight as his momentum coming out of WrestleMania continues to add up. Daniel Bryan, he's just on this roller coaster ride, and he's just going up. He's getting close to that top of the mountain. He's working his way up there, and he's like a freight train right now. Just all this momentum, this force behind him from the yes movement. Daniel Bryan, at this point, he's almost unstoppable. Daniel Bryan continues to ride his hot streak of momentum. But he's still got a while to go if he wants to get a shot at the WWE Championship. I don't know. Maybe Daniel Bryan might change his mind. Maybe he'll try to go after the World Heavyweight Championship instead. I don't know. We'll see how things play out for Daniel Bryan. He's in a very odd position here in Universe Mode. But we're going to move on to the next matchup for the evening. As we can see, well, I want you all to take your right hand, place it over your heart, and say along with me, "We the people," because Jack Swagger, the real American, is about to set foot in that ring. He's competing here tonight, and what the? Is that Sergeant Slaughter? I thought he was on our side. I thought he represented America. What's going on here? Oh, this is ridiculous. Sergeant Slaughter coming down here, and well, those clearly are not the American colors here tonight. And, well, this is Saturday night's main event, so we're kicking it old school. But I never would have expected to see Sergeant Slaughter, let alone... Well, I never would have expected to see Sergeant Slaughter here tonight. And, well, look at this. He's going to be competing well. I think we've seen it all, folks. I think we've seen it all here in Universe Mode to this point. I mean, I'm speechless right now. I don't know what to say. Okay, we're going with this. This is happening. Jack Swagger versus Sergeant Slaughter here tonight. Well, yeah. I honestly don't know what to say. This is not what I was expecting here tonight, folks. But, you know, it's an old school episode, so perhaps we'll see some legends, some more legends popping up later on in the show. But for now, let's just try to focus on the match at hand and what's going on right now. As it's Sergeant Slaughter going on the offensive to kick this one off with a nice reverse vertical suplex there, taking Swagger down. And now adjusting his elbow pad there. Bit of arrogance there from Sergeant Slaughter as he didn't appear as though he was taking Swagger too seriously. But a nice spinning fisherman suplex, and now it's Swagger stomping on the chest of Sergeant Slaughter here. Jack Swagger, of course, the true American patriot, taking on the... I don't know. I just don't know how to describe Sergeant Slaughter here tonight. I thought he was, you know, the U.S. commander person. He just seemed like such the true patriot, but not tonight. No, for some reason tonight, Sergeant Slaughter, he's out sporting not American colors, that's for sure, and I'm sure that's definitely going to frustrate Jack Swagger here tonight. But as we can see, Sergeant Slaughter, nope, counter by Swagger as he delivers a nice left hook to the face of Slaughter. And now look at this. Sergeant Slaughter picking Swagger up for a scoop slam right there. Beautiful move by Sergeant Slaughter. Look at this. Slaughter, he's really taking the fight to Jack Swagger here. Slaughter, he's looking to be in terrific in-ring shape. As, you know, unlike The Rock, Sergeant Slaughter is taking control of this matchup. Jack Swagger's the one who appears to have a little bit of ring rust. As Jack Swagger now pulls Slaughter away from the ropes and now connects with that leg drop right across the face. And WWE 2K15 is approaching, folks. And at the time I'm doing this commentary, I know it's going to be a little bit, you know, out of date by the time it does get uploaded, but there were new superstars released for the game. That the first 6 superstars confirmed. One of them being Finn Balor. So that's going to be fun to have Finn Balor in next year's game. Hopefully we can see him make an appearance in Universe Mode. We're just going to have to wait to see how that plays out. And, you know, they have a pretty solid roster. You know, the first 6 superstars to reveal. That's a pretty solid 6 for that one. But look at this. A beautiful Axe Bomber clothesline from Sergeant Slaughter. But wait a minute. What is... Jack Swagger's hulking up here. Well, really kicking it old school tonight. And, oh well, I guess that didn't last very long as Sergeant Slaughter quickly quells the rally. But Swagger now strikes back with a punch. It looked like Swagger is trying to channel the inner Hulkamaniac inside of him, but to no avail. As he hits the nice belly-to-back suplex, but Swagger, you know, that took a lot out of him, as you can see. Struggled to get back to his feet, but it's not enough to put Slaughter away, who kicks at it too. And now Swagger has Slaughter in a headlock. Elbow right to the back of the head of Sergeant Slaughter. But Swagger, you know, he is turning the tables. He might not have been able to hulk up correctly, but he is still firing up a bit of a comeback here. As he picks Slaughter up to his feet. But Slaughter now counters with a nice elbow to the back of the head. Or maybe the top of the head of Jack Swagger. Oh, and now a running knee lift in the corner by Swagger. As he picks Slaughter up and slams him back down on the mat. Now dragging Slaughter away from the ropes. And, well, looks like he's going to try to work on the leg, the ankle of Sergeant Slaughter. Maybe try to set him up for the Patriot lock. Sergeant Slaughter.
But Slaughter now. Irish whip to Swagger, sends him off the ropes and a hold. And Sergeant Slaughter will once again just adjusting that elbow pad and just mocking Swagger here giving Swagger a salute even. I mean, Sergeant Slaughter really is he's just the epitome of arrogance here tonight. Could be going into this matchup a bit too overconfident, and Swagger's going to look to try to make him pay for that. Another spinning fisherman suplex right there. And now, once again, stomping away at the Sergeant. Picking him up to his feet now as Jack Swagger really I think he got more than he was expecting out of a fight here from Sergeant Slaughter. And Slaughter now off that shoulder block, picking Swagger up to his feet yet again. And while he was looking for some sort of punch to the face there, but Swagger was able to block it and connect with a strike of his own. And now Slaughter bounces out of the corner. Yet another belly-to-back suplex there by Swagger. But again, you can see he's spent at the moment. I mean, he's just crawling now, able to just throw his arm across the chest to Slaughter. But Slaughter able to get the shoulder up at the last second. Kicking out at a 2 count. And Slaughter now trying to get to his feet. Jack Swagger's got him in the headlock there. And now throws him into the corner. Slaughter gets out of the corner, but look at this. Jack Swagger's waiting for him, and he caught him with the gut-wrench powerbomb. Well, that's more Swagger style. Cover here on Sergeant Slaughter, and that is it, folks. Jack Swagger picks up the victory over Sergeant Slaughter here tonight on Saturday night's main event. So Jack Swagger, it has been a little bit of a rough transition to the SmackDown roster. Whether it's not really getting featured or losing a match, winning a match, kind of being a bit inconsistent in terms of his matches. But tonight, you know, on this unique stage, Jack Swagger is able to showcase his abilities, channel a little bit of his inner Hulk Hogan, and score the win here tonight. So Jack Swagger, hopefully that can perhaps spark a bit of a change in his course over on SmackDown. But we're going to move on back to another Raw superstar. As we can see, the Big Red Machine, Kane, will be in action here tonight, and he's kicking it old school. He's got the retro mask, the retro attire here tonight, and even the retro theme song in the background. Probably my favorite theme song from Kane, Slow Chemical. It really is a good song in my opinion. But Kane here tonight, perhaps trying to channel some of the demons of his past to perhaps try to change his Universe Mode path. As since Elimination Chamber, Kane has almost been non-existent over on Monday Night Raw. And perhaps tonight he's looking to channel, like I said, the demons of his past to try to correct his course here in Universe Mode. Here on Saturday night's main event, you know, all eyes are going to be watching. It's a special event, and Kane, you know, probably the perfect stage for him is to try to showcase his talents. But what's going on here? Oh my God! You're kidding me! He's back! Sorry about that. I'm just in complete shock at the moment. Sting is back here, ladies and gentlemen. I thought after WrestleMania, I thought we were never going to see Sting in Universe Mode again. But here he is, folks, on Saturday night's main event. Sting, the icon, is back in Universe Mode. Oh, and we're going to see him in-ring competition, perhaps. That's what it looks like. Sting is making his way down to the ring with his trusty baseball bat in hand. And while he couldn't defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, but tonight perhaps looking for a bit of vengeance against The Undertaker's brother, Kane. Oh, and look at that slap to the face of Kane. Well, not too many people have the guts to go up to the Big Red Machine and slap him in the face, unless you'd like to have a one-night stay in hell. But Sting, you know, showing no fear whatsoever, going straight up to Kane. And Sting taking control of the matchup early on with a couple of back-and-forth strikes now between the two. As Kane trying to turn the tides perhaps in his favor. Clothesline Sting up over the top rope to the floor. And well, quickly this match going to the outside, turning into a huge brawl here. As Sting swinging neck breaker right there to Kane out on the outside.
and that's just going to add even more impact to that move. Sting, though, going to get Kane back into the ring as the referee. You can see the referee, he wants to try to keep this from breaking down into a huge fight. But that's what's going to happen between these two men. You can see just these powerhouse shots back and forth. Kane, another strike to the face. As Kane now, well, counter again by Sting as he delivers the knee to the gut of Kane. Now throws him off the ropes as Kane bounces back. Atomic drop right there by Sting. As Stinger, he's here. Like, seriously, I didn't think we were going to see or hear from Sting ever again after what happened at WrestleMania. I thought he was here to face The Undertaker, and then that was going to be it. But it looks like Sting, he's not done yet. He's still got more left in the tank. And perhaps, does this mean we're going to be seeing more of Sting in the future? I don't know. Perhaps maybe he's just here to try to go out on a high note against Kane here tonight on Saturday night's main event. I mean, it is the night to go old school, and, you know, why not take a little trip back down memory lane of the Monday Night Wars. As Sting here, nice elbow drop right there to Kane. Kane right now, he's reeling at the moment. I mean, I'm sure Kane did not expect his opponent to be Sting here tonight. But so far, you know, he's kind of able to keep his composure a little bit, but you can tell that he's a little rattled. He wasn't expecting Sting to be here tonight. And that could perhaps be affecting his matchup here. Sting takes Kane down with that nice arm breaker. And now picking Kane back up. Oh, look at this. Sting looking for a tombstone pile driver to Kane. Taking a move out of Kane and The Undertaker's playbook there. Cover, form across the face. That's 2, but Kane able to kick out at 2.5. Oof. Sting almost had him there. And Kane really is in a lot of trouble. Sting has got him on the ropes. Well, now he's literally got him on the ropes. Visual pun is whatever. Anyway, oh no. Oh no, Sting, you can't do this. Now he's looking for a DDT onto the apron. Well, he's looking to just outright destroy Kane here tonight. Sting, I'm not sure if he really cares about winning. He just wants to make a statement out of Kane. I don't know if he's trying to send a message to The Undertaker or send a message to the WWE locker room, or if he's just trying to, like I said earlier, just leave on a high note, just try to go out on a win. As there's another 2 count, but a kick out by Kane. As Kane is really on wobbly legs right now. He can't even make it back to his feet. And when he does, Sting is right there just to continue the onslaught. As another swinging neck breaker. Kane, though, sits right back up. Kane perhaps looking to fire up his second win here. As Sting takes him down with a nice vertical suplex into the cover, but a kick out by Kane. And now Sting, well, he's going for a stomp there, but Kane back to his feet. Counter again by Sting. Running DDT this time from Kane. As it's just counter after counter now. Kane trying to go back on the offensive, try to swing the momentum in his corner. Whereas Sting, though, just trying to finish Kane off here. Two-handed choke slam right there by Kane, just planting Sting straight into the mat. And now, oh, he was going for that uppercut, but now it's Sting with a beautiful clothesline. Cover again. Kick out, though, by... Actually, no, not a kick out. The long legs of Kane coming into effect there, as it was a rope break that kept Kane alive in this one, as now he connects with the big clothesline in the corner. And now Kane's looking to go airborne. He's going to the top rope, but we don't see this too often. This definitely will be vintage Kane, though. Off the top, he hits the clothesline from the top rope, but now it's Sting who's right back to his feet. Now delivers a clothesline of his own, a second one, and a third clothesline by Sting. And Kane backed into a corner now. And here's Sting. He's going to look for that tombstone yet again. You know, he seems hell-bent on finishing Kane off with that tombstone. As he delivers it. Cover again on the big red monster. And that is it, folks. Sting gets the victory here tonight at Saturday night's main event. And, well, he may not have been able to defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, But he certainly did put on one hell of a show here tonight, and he did, in the end, get the victory, this time over Kane. Well, Sting, if he wanted to make an impact tonight, that's certainly what he did. And if he wanted to go out on a victory, if this is, in fact, Sting's last match in Universe Mode, well, then he went out on a victory. So we'll have to see what exactly... I don't know, will we see Sting ever again in Universe Mode? I mean, I was surprised enough to see him here tonight. Will we see him again, or is this the last of the Stinger? Well, questions to be answered, or questions maybe never to be answered. But now we're going to move on to the next matchup of the evening, as we've got yet another superstar who appears to be going retro tonight, as it is the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, Chris Jericho, here tonight. The king of the world has arrived, and he's here on Saturday night's main event. He's ready to compete, and well, I don't know if he's wearing a wig or those like hair extensions. I don't know what Jericho's doing here tonight, and what is that on his chin? I don't know how Jericho managed to get that, but Jericho here tonight, he's definitely kicking it old school. I mean, he's got the ponytail, he's got that goatee. Has he been growing that out, or is that a fake? I don't know. Jericho, he's certainly pulling out all the stops here tonight for the show. He's definitely going old school, but tonight he's going up against, well, the new school, the future of the WWE, or perhaps, as this man would like you to believe, you know, perhaps the present of the WWE, as it is Roman Reigns, the former powerhouse of the Shield. Now he's on his own, drafted to SmackDown, away from his Shield brethren. Roman Reigns here tonight, looking to try to get the victory over Chris Jericho. Reigns trying to make an impact, make a name for himself as a singles competitor since being drafted over to SmackDown, and, well, he's done a pretty good job of doing that so far. I mean, he has gotten his victories when he does compete, although in the Battle Royal to crown the #1 contender for the WWE Championship heading into Extreme Rules, I mean, he had a very impressive outing. He eliminated the likes of John Cena, Sheamus, Mark Henry, or maybe one of those two. No, I don't think he eliminated Cena. Maybe he did. I can't remember. He eliminated at least 3 competitors, one of them including Chris Jericho, although when it came down to the final 2 men, Reigns was eliminated by Barrett. So Reigns, you know, through all the effort, the dominant performance he had still was not enough to get him the victory. And, oh, what a Samoan drop right there to Jericho. But in the end, Reigns, you know, it wasn't his time. It wasn't his moment. He looked strong, but not quite strong enough. He didn't have it left in the tank to finish off Wade Barrett to get the victory. Although he did have a very impressive outing on the night, he eliminated basically everybody else in the matchup except for Wade Barrett. But tonight he's going up against a former Intercontinental Champion, a former World Heavyweight Champion, the first ever undisputed WWE Champion in the history of the WWE. He's going up against a legend, an icon, a rock singer. I mean, Chris Jericho, I mean, he's a writer. I mean, he's done just about everything. Podcasts, you name it. Chris Jericho is just the man. He's a jack of all trades. And, well, he's one of the best ever in that ring. And Roman Reigns, he's got to try to defeat this man here tonight. As, of course, Jericho, he's not exactly one of SmackDown's, you know, main staples, the guys like Barrett, Sheamus, Mark Henry, but Jericho has been on SmackDown for quite a while. He did challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship back at not No Way Out, Survivor Series, that's what I mean to say. And, of course, he was also in the Elimination Chamber for the World Heavyweight Championship. He was one of the final 2 competitors, of course, losing to Christian in the end. But Jericho, you know, he has been at the top here in Universe Mode. He's come close. Hasn't quite been the #1 guy, but he had 2 positions.
So he does know what it takes to make it to the main event scene. And Roman Reigns, he's looking to try to perhaps usurp Chris Jericho's position now. As look at this Superman punch right to the jaw of Chris Jericho. That could have knocked him out cold. And oh, just barely a kick out at the last second by Chris Jericho. As Jericho now able to counter, but he's definitely reeling off that Superman punch by Roman Reigns. And Reigns now, he's just got to try to finish this thing off. He's got Jericho, you know, he's got the victory within his sights, but he just needs to hit that one finishing move to finish him off. That was redundant. I said finish twice. Anyway, Reigns, I don't know. Now's his time. He can't afford to let this one go on for too much longer. Otherwise, Jericho could have a chance of getting back in this thing. But wait a minute. We've seen this before. Roman Reigns. This is about to be vintage Reigns right here as he's positioning Jericho for that drop kick on the apron. Roman Reigns may have just knocked Jericho's lights out. Hooks the leg. 2 count. And no! A kick out again by Jericho. Well, wouldn't it have been ironic if Jericho got his lights knocked out? I mean, never mind. I was trying to make a Fozzy reference, but it made more sense the first time I did it, and I didn't think of it in time. Anywho, enough with the bad puns, the bad jokes. Even though, you know, Jericho, his early career, he definitely did make a lot of bad puns, bad jokes. But tonight, you know, he's no nonsense. He just wants to put Roman Reigns in his place. He wants to show that he's not done yet. His time in Universe Mode is not up. And look at this. Jericho, well, tapping into a bit of his old roots as he's managing to look at the strength of Jericho, lifting Reigns up there for the triple power bomb. Well, not exactly a triple power bomb, but a combination of 3 power bombs, but Reigns able to kick out. Reigns knows all about the triple power bomb. Look at this. Wait a minute, Jericho sweeps out the legs. Reigns, he's in a whole lot of trouble. Center of the ring. He's got nowhere to go. He's nowhere near the ropes. Roman Reigns could be forced to tap out to the walls of Jericho right here. Although he did not. He managed to survive the submission hold, but Jericho now going to perhaps try to go for the cover off of that. That's a 2 count, but a kick out by Reigns. Jericho perhaps thought, you know, if Reigns didn't want to tap out, the submission hold might have done enough damage for him to just kind of pin the exhausted Reigns, but unfortunately for Jericho, that was not the case. Reigns still has some fight left in him. What a chop there by Jericho. Into the cover again, looking to finish Reigns off, but, you know, even if he doesn't finish Reigns off at this point, he's still doing a good job at wearing Roman Reigns down, forcing him to expend energy with these kickouts. And now Reigns rockets Jericho into the corner, and now into that Samoan drop. Jesus, I can't even talk. Cover again, kick out again by Jericho. And there's a stomp now right to the back of Jericho. Reigns now firing up those punches that he's known for. Reigns definitely packs a lot of power behind each strike. And that one especially, a Superman punch. That could put Jericho away here. 2 count. And yes, it does. Roman Reigns. It may have taken 2 Superman punches in that apron dropkick, but Reigns nonetheless gets the job done here tonight. He scores the win over Chris Jericho. And well, it appears as though Jericho going retro for the night. Now trying to perhaps fire himself up here tonight in the spirit of Saturday night's main event, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to give him the edge over Roman Reigns here tonight. Whether or not that's a real goatee, if it's just some sort of, did he like glue it on there? I don't know, but I'm focusing too much on, I don't even know. I'm just in a completely different world right now with this commentary. But nonetheless, Roman Reigns proving here tonight that he is the future. Maybe he's the present, as he continues to move up the pecking order here on Friday Night SmackDown. And he could very well be the next big thing here in Universe Mode. At the very least, the next big superstar here on SmackDown. But now we're moving on to the next matchup. As we can see here, the Intercontinental Champion Titus O'Neil is set for in-ring competition tonight. And I'm very curious to see facing,
because we've already seen Sting, we've seen Kane, Jericho dressing up
in their old school attires. We've seen Sergeant Slaughter make an appearance. The Rock making a return. Who is... What? What? Rick, are you... Oh my God. Rick Rude is here in Universe... Well, I said earlier when Sergeant Slaughter came down to the ring that I thought we'd seen it all. But I've been proven wrong because we've seen it all now. Rick Rude is in a Universe Mode wrestling ring. He's here tonight, and he's taking on the Intercontinental Champion, Titus O'Neil. Well, I don't believe it, folks. I never would have expected this to happen. Oh, wait a minute. He's got a mic. Oh no. Rick, what are you doing? What are you going to say?
What I'd like to have right now is for all you fat, ugly, inner city sweat hogs.
Oh, Rick,
keep the noise down while I take my robe off and show the ladies what a real sexy man looks
this isn't
like.
Necessary. Rick, you don't have to do this. Somebody cut away. No, nobody needs to see this. Come on, somebody cut away, cut to something else. Well, at least it's not in the camera, I guess. But, I mean, I don't even know. You know, I was excited for Rick Rude, but now I don't even know. I don't know who to root for in this matchup. Rick Rude, I mean, clearly he's still the Rick Rude that we all know, that we all knew from the past. He hasn't lost a step in terms of his mic ability. He clearly hasn't gained any appreciation for the fans. No, certainly that is not the case. But we'll see if he's still got his in-ring ability that he possessed of old, as he's taken on, well, one of our top young superstars of today, as it's our current Intercontinental Champion, Titus O'Neil, in action. As normally, I would be, you know, as a commentator, I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I would imagine that most of the audience here tonight, if it were anybody else other than Rick Rude, they would have been against Titus O'Neil. But I don't know. After the comments Rick just made moments ago, I really don't know. I don't know if this is going to be as much of a one-sided... I don't know. I think this reception's going to be a bit, there might be a few people... I don't know. There could be some people rooting for Rick Rude, but, after those comments he made, I really don't think this entire crowd is going to be behind Rick Rude. I mean, it's cool to see Rick Rude in a ring, but if he's just going to come down here and insult everybody, that's not exactly how you get the people to like you, Rick. But anyways, let's focus on the match at hand. As Titus O'Neil, well, he was starting to gain the upper hand, but now it's Rick who delivered a nice knee lift, but now it's Titus who's going on the offensive here with a nice vertical suplex right there, taking Rick downtown to the mat. That didn't make any sense. Forget, whatever. Anyways, Titus O'Neil now driving the elbow right into the skull of Rick Rude, and now takes him down with a belly-to-belly suplex as Rick is catapulted nearly halfway across the ring, and now tossed into the corner by Titus. Counter with the elbow there from Rude. Counter now by Titus, as it's back and forth between these two to kick off this matchup. But now it's Titus who's got Rick down, and a kick right to the back of Rick Rude. As Titus O'Neil now just continues his assault on the lower back of Rick Rude. Of course, softening him up for that clash to the Titus. Definitely wearing down the lower back of Rick Rude, getting him set up so that, when he does hit that move, it's gonna be game over for Rick Rude. So Rick Rude now, he's got to do something. He's got to start to swing this match back in his favor. It appears as though he's starting to do that. He's starting to get back on the right track. As he now has Titus O'Neil reeling, got him up against the ropes, but look at this! Titus O'Neil just, well, he sent Rick Rude flying over that top rope, crashing to the floor. And, well, that's not going to be very good for Rick Rude's back as Titus continues the assault. Look at this now, setting Rick up for the backbreaker. And Rick Rude, he's not looking good at all at the moment. Titus O'Neil has taken firm control of the matchup, but Rick able to kick at it too.
As Titus O'Neil now, he's just waiting, just measuring Rick Rude to set him up for the clash of the Titus. And that's gonna be it, folks. Rick, you know, it's been fun, but you're done. You're done, son. Cover by Titus, 2 count, and that is it, folks. The real deal, Titus O'Neil, has picked up a big victory over yet another legend. I mean, at the Slammy Awards, it was the Honky Tonk Man, and here tonight, it's Rick Rude. Both former Intercontinental Champions, former great Intercontinental Champions, two of the most well-recognized Intercontinental Champions. And, well, this is only going to boost Titus O'Neil's ego even further, as now he's... Wait a minute, what the hell? Luke Harper attacking Rick Rude and Titus O'Neil. Well, the Wyatt family, they, of course, are going to be facing the winner of the tag team tournament that's been taking place lately. And I guess Luke Harper just wants to let the rest of the participants in the tournament know that the Wyatt family, you know, just give them a little bit of a reminder, send them a little bit of a message as to what the Wyatt family is capable of. But here is the match you've all been waiting for, folks. Announced back at Extreme Rules. It's going to be D-Generation X. They're back here tonight. They're reunited one more time. And they're going to be taking on Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose of The Shield in tag team competition. And this is going to be a big matchup here tonight, folks. Triple H, we know he's had issues with The Shield in the past. And we've seen that, you know, in his previous attempts to try to take down The Shield, he's been unsuccessful. But now that, you know, The Shield has been separated, Roman Reigns, I'm sure Triple H has already sent Roman Reigns home for the night. But as I was saying, you know, The Shield, they've been weakened at this point. It's just Seth and Dean now. And Triple H, he's got his old pal, his best friend from, I mean, speaking of the Monday Night Wars, two men who basically could have helped two men that helped win the Monday Night Wars for Monday Night Raw for the WWE, Shawn Michaels and Triple H here tonight. Well, and in case you're wondering, why are they not in DX attires? That would have made this, you know, match really cool, as if, you know, DX is reuniting. Why not give them DX attires? I did, and the Universe Mode reset them for no reason, so I apologize for that. But then, you know, sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. And regardless, you know, it's still DX. We know it's DX, and they're here to take on the Shield tonight. And well, could this perhaps be the final chapter between Triple H and the Shield? I mean, the history goes all the way back to when, I don't even remember at this point when Vince was attacked. It was prior to, I can't remember at the moment, but it's been a long time. It's been a long time coming, Triple H's vengeance with the Shield. Of course, Vince McMahon being attacked backstage, the Shield openly admitted that it was their doing. And Stephanie McMahon as well getting attacked backstage. Although the Shield, they won't admit that it was them. Perhaps it wasn't, but all the evidence points towards it being the Shield's doing. The Shield attacking Stephanie McMahon. Although Roman Reigns has insisted that the Shield did not attack Stephanie McMahon. So, I don't know. Like I've said before, I mean, it's almost beating a dead horse at this point. You take it as you will. Until we hear from the culprit, whoever attacked Stephanie McMahon, or until we hear from Steph herself, who is still in the hospital. Vince is still in the hospital. I mean, they suffered severe damage from the Shield, or at least Vince is in rehabilitation. Honestly, I haven't heard from, I mean, it's been a very well-kept secret as to Vince's health, so, now, I can only say as much as I know, and that's what's going on. But let's focus on the match, the actual wrestling here, as we can see Seth Rollins and Shawn Michaels in the ring. Seth Rollins, perhaps almost like a modern-day Shawn Michaels, perhaps. I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of superstars who can fly around that ring who are technically gifted, but to say someone's a modern Shawn Michaels, I mean,
You know, if people are comparing you to Shawn Michaels, you got big shoes to fill. And I know Dolph Ziggler often seems to be categorized as kind of like poor man's Shawn Michaels. I don't know. I think Seth Rollins as well. He can fly around that ring as well. He's got some... I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I lost my train of thought. I apologize for that. But still, we could perhaps see Seth Rollins and Shawn Michaels. You know, Seth Rollins likes to use the super kick. He does have a super kick in his arsenal. A deadly one at that. Let's look at this roll up on Michaels. Could look to try to pull a fast one on Michaels here, but no, now it's Michaels who counters into a bridge. Covered, but Dean Ambrose is right there to break that one up. To say the least, they do have very similar styles. So we could perhaps see it's almost like seeing yourself in the mirror. It's like you're fighting yourself out there. As Seth Rollins and Shawn Michaels square off. Michaels, of course, he has competed in Universe Mode before. Back at the King of the Ring tournament, he was a part of that. He and Triple H both competed in the King of the Ring tournament, both defeated by the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, as Michaels tossed to the outside now. And of course, we know where that led him. I mean, of course, he went on to defeat The Undertaker, win the World Heavyweight title, and he didn't lose that title until Elimination Chamber. So, I mean, we all know the story of Mark Henry. So, to say that these two men, Triple H and Shawn Michaels, lost to Mark Henry, you know, that's not something to take lightly. You can't really fault them for that, because Mark Henry has defeated many superstars at his during his reign at the top. If I can get my words out of my mouth, I can't talk today for some reason. But Seth Rollins, nice float over neck breaker, taking down Shawn Michaels. As Seth now, he's got Michaels in the corner of the Shield. That's not where Michaels wants to be, not at all. Michaels, he's going to have to try to get a tag to Triple H here fairly soon. Otherwise, it could be game over for D-Generation X. Nice double underhook suplex. And now Dean Ambrose drives an elbow straight into the heart of the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Now dragging him away from those ropes. And look at this, kick to the gut, and now a kick to the chest of Shawn Michaels. Dean Ambrose just continuing the onslaught here from the Shield. Shawn Michaels taking a lot of punishment. Let's look at Ambrose with a DDT right there. May have just knocked Michaels out cold. Elbow to the back of the head now of the Heartbreak Kid. As Dean Ambrose now just slowly, meticulously dissecting Shawn Michaels here in this matchup. Going after the arm, the head, anything, any limb appendage of Shawn Michaels, Dean Ambrose is looking to destroy it. As Dean Ambrose now delivers a couple elbows right to the nose of Shawn Michaels. Triple H tried to take a cheap shot there, but Ambrose was just out of range. Triple H is probably taking all that he's got to keep himself from just jumping into this matchup. Look at this. Dean Ambrose fires off a clothesline there, bouncing out of the ropes. And look at Dean Ambrose. He's just soaking it all in right now. Cover again on Shawn Michaels. And Triple H is there to break it up. But Shawn Michaels now, he's trying to get to the corner, trying to make a tag to Triple H. But Dean Ambrose, he's not going to let it happen. He's got to get Shawn Michaels as far away as possible from Triple H. He can't allow Michaels to make a tag. I mean, you got Shawn Michaels, you got him reeling, you got to make sure that you keep him in that matchup. You can't allow Triple H to get in this thing and get some new blood into this matchup. And we see now a back and forth battle of strikes between the two. Dean Ambrose again with a DDT to Shawn Michaels. And Ambrose now flips him over. See, perhaps maybe trying to set him up for that submission hold that he's known for, that I've now referred to as the Ambrose stretch, almost a variant of William Regal's Regal stretch. But Triple H, he gets in there to break that one up before too much damage can occur. But Ambrose, well, he delivers Triple H a clothesline for his troubles, and now takes Michaels down. Back of Michaels' head bouncing off the mat. Look at this, Dean Ambrose going to the top rope. What's he looking to do here? Oh, a fist drop right to the face of Shawn Michaels. And Ambrose going to the corner. Michaels, he's once again trying to make a crawl, trying to make a break for it, try to over to Triple H to make a tag. And if my commentary just skipped, I apologize. There was a bit of like a... Well, anyways.
see why I even bother mentioning that. Cover here by Dean Ambrose off the running knee trembler, but it was not the final shot. Dean Ambrose, he fired off the gun, signaling for the end, but Triple H would have none of that. He's not going to play the Shield's game, as Michaels now counters with a nice elbow to the skull of Dean Ambrose. Here comes Michaels now. Oh, he went for a running clothesline, but Dean Ambrose shut that down. Went for a clothesline of his own, and now he rolls up Ambrose. But Ambrose was able to get to the ropes for the rope break. And now Michaels, well, look at this. Vintage Shawn Michaels right there with a flying forearm, and then the kip up. And Shawn Michaels, well, he hasn't lost a step. He's still as good as ever. Dean Ambrose, though, oh, he shuts Michaels down before he can mount too much offense from the top rope. As Ambrose now picks up Michaels. Looking for a DDT again, but Michaels countered, as that DDT could have been the last one Michaels would ever see, as he's really taking a lot of damage to the head there. Michaels going up top, and now he's just measuring Dean, waiting for Dean to get to his feet, and now an axe handle from the top rope by the Heartbreak Kid. Michaels, the showstopper, he's kicking it into another gear right now. Oh, he's got Ambrose in that corner, looking to make a tag to Triple H, and he does. And now the Game, the Cerebral Assassin, gets in this matchup once again. The drop toe hold into the elbow, and now Triple H, he's looking to go on the attack. As look at this clothesline to Seth Rollins, taking Rollins off the apron. Triple H now he's got a full head of steam right now, but he can't let that anger take over. He's got to keep himself under control. Running high knee right to the skull of Ambrose. And Triple H now, look at this. Irish whip once again. Dean bounces off the ropes into a face buster from the Game. This is vintage Triple H right now. He's just coming at Ambrose with a full head of steam. Double A spine buster now from the Game. And he's going for the cover. That could put Ambrose away. One, but it's broken up by Seth Rollins. The 4-2 count. Seth Rollins, he doesn't want to play Triple H's game. He wants to shut down the Game before it can even begin. Let's look at this. Triple H tags in Shawn Michaels. Oh my goodness, a super kick to the jaw of Dean Ambrose. And now look at this. Directly into a pedigree from Triple H. Shawn Michaels was looking to get him some of Seth Rollins, but Rollins appeared to have gotten the better of that exchange. Michaels, though, taking another shot at Rollins. But Dean Ambrose now, he can barely stand. He can't even make it back to his feet. Normally, a sweet chin music into a pedigree would have kept any normal man down, but the Shield, they've shown throughout their past that they aren't normal competitors. They're going to be the next main eventers. Perhaps the next Shawn Michaels, the next Triple H here in the WWE. But Michaels, that's a vintage elbow drop. He's going to the corner, and he's looking to finish Ambrose off for good. Somehow, Ambrose back to his feet, but that may have just led to his downfall. A sweet chin music from Shawn Michaels, and Michaels can't even get to the cover. He's crawling. Can he make it to Dean Ambrose to get the win? Here we go, cover. 1, 2, 3, and that is it, folks. D-Generation X. Man, that was a war. That was a fight. That was a battle between these two tag teams. But in the end, DX, they do get the job done. Surprisingly enough, I mean, Michaels, he just was unable to capitalize from the sweet chin music into the pedigree in time. But still, Ambrose, I mean, from that point, the match was basically over from there. And Michaels, just almost for insurance, just one more super kick just to make sure Ambrose stays down. But that's it for this episode. I want to thank you all for watching. Keep on YouTubing.